Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Stacey's got some questions about gold and silver she's going to answer, and common questions. Is that it?
Yeah, he came on with me. So you guys have been asking us to do a live question and answer regarding precious metals. And so here we go, you guys. We're here. So you better ask away, and we're going to give away 2 ounces of silver tonight. The other person did not respond and pick the other one up, so we're going to give away 2 tonight. But no, they've been asking us to do questions and answers regarding precious metals. So let's just start out. I think one of the most common things I get asked is the difference between spot and premium. And if you'll help me throughout the...
Sure.
M and J, if I miss a question or something, you guys ask me again. I'll try to see if I can read it. All right.
Yeah, sure.
You help me. All right. Difference between spot and premium. Spot, you guys, is that raw piece of silver that comes out of the ground. It is the same for every piece of silver and every piece of gold. It does not matter what you purchase. It doesn't own silver. Let's just take silver. It doesn't matter if you purchase an eagle. It does not matter if you purchase a buffalo, which is a buffalo from a private mint. It's still going to be the same spot. And spot right now is running about $24.77. It has gone on a run today in the last couple of days.
And you can also think about it like this. Premium is what it takes to get it away from the mint.
That's exactly it.
That's what it takes to get it from the mint to you.
Yep.
That's a good way to think about it.
Yep.
And there's some area there for people to raise prices. You know, what will they work for? What will they peddle this product for? And that's why, you know, the premiums are different in different places. So that's how I look at it. That's how I've always looked at it.
And this is going to be a poor analogy. I get tickled when I say it, but it's like a pair of jeans. It's a pair of jeans, it's a pair of jeans, but you pay for the name brand and you pay for the availability sometimes. So sometimes if you notice, when eagles are not at their high in demand and we don't have a lot of them, guess what? Premiums are going to go up. When we got a lot of them, premiums go down. Same with the buffaloes. When we don't have a lot of them, premiums go up.
It's the same. I guess it's just supply and demand.
It's supply and demand. It is, and it's also based on name recognition. So that's one of the biggest things I think that we get asked as spot versus premium. It's hard to kind of wrap your head around it because when you look at spot, and spot, you guys, is different with every single company. So if you were to look at our website right now, which our website is
I thought that was really strange too.
I
thought spot was just spot.
Yeah, it's not.
You know, it's like that globally, but it's not.
No. It's based on future tradings that they went to the COMEX and purchased.
Yeah, well, I don't...
The best way I know how to...
I just thought it was spot, and that was the end of it.
The best way I know how to describe it is, so, say for example, I bought a stock of Google and you bought a stock of Google. It's going to be a few cents off. So if we did the same thing with the companies and they went to COMEX and did that for future tradings, you're a few cents off.
Is it usually just a few cents?
It's usually a few cents.
Okay.
Now, every once in a while you'll have a big gap, but generally, that's kind of what I said.
That's what I've noticed. I noticed like a big gap. Like SD Bullion advertises their premiums real low and their spot's always higher.
They don't
I never understood that.
SD Bullion doesn't show spot and premium. They just give you the price.
Or maybe it's not always, but it has been.
Show me next time.
Yeah, I will.
Because usually SD Bullion just kind of shows you just the lump price. They don't show you spot plus premium, typically.
Right.
And that's where, and by the way, that's another little tip I'll give you guys. If you ever purchase precious metals, save that receipt. Because if you ever have to go back and sell, and God forbid the tax guy says, hey, I want to see if you made a profit, you can show that receipt and you don't have to pay full taxes on capital gains. So that's another thing. All right, do you see any questions, or you may go on to the next one that people have been asking?
I don't see. Hello from Japan. That's cool.
Hi, Japan.
66 degrees and sunny.
Oh, wow. That's one place I would love to go, and I've not been.
How can I do it now in PM without penalties? I really don't want paper PM. How can I do it now in
precious metals without
penalty?
What do you mean on penalty? So I'll tell you this: we do not report it. If you're talking about penalties,
maybe she's talking about her self-directed IRA.
I don't know. Tell me what you mean on penalties.
What do you mean by penalties?
I'll tell you this. If you purchase precious metals with a cashier's check, cash, or money order, you're, especially over a certain amount, you're going to be reported to the government. If you do ACH, if you do wire transfer, you're not going to be reported to the government. So that's another little tip that we get asked all the time. Am I being reported to the government? Hit that down arrow because I can't see those comments. You got long arms. You're not going to be reported to the government.
I'm fixing to catch
See,
up.
that's
I'll be able
tip
to.
that we get asked all the time.
I'll be able to read them off my
So
phone.
yes,
'Cause I can't reach.
IRS. Yes, IRS. All right, let me know on the next one. But that's another tip, you guys. If you're purchasing, even if you're purchasing from a local dealer, they're still going to have to report it. So let me know. How much of the investment portfolio should you put in precious metals? Well, that would be for a financial advisor, and we're not financial advisors.
Oh, okay.
But, hang on, finish this one real quick. But typically, if you look at the wealthy people, like Chris and I, we have started looking at, they tend to put 10% of their portfolio in precious metals. Is that not correct? And that's kind of how we came up with that number.
Yeah, that's 10 to 20. Some people more. Depends
Yep.
on your conviction, what you think's going to happen. But yeah, most of the investors that I learned from kept 10%.
Yeah.
And that's kind of common. For people that think it's going to do good, that's kind of a common spot. It's not.
Someone said 10% is nowhere near enough. And you know what?
That's your conviction.
That's exactly right. And sometimes we go back and forth. We have baskets that we call them. And we sometimes move things around. And we say, okay, we need more in precious metals. And we've done that before. Just when we got out of real estate property. And
right.
Anyway, what was
I know several people that have 20,
Yep.
more. But that's, after you have 10%, you can decide what to do.
Yep.
It's not like, I'm going to do it all right now. I've never really done that.
Physical or NFT? No, I would do physical. I'm not NFT, but that's up to you guys. What was the question?
So I'm going to start off. This is from MNJ. I have an IRA that I can't touch for another 10 months without an early withdrawal penalty. So that's how else are you going to do? You got to take the penalty. I don't guess there's a way around it if that's what you want to do.
Wow, that. Once again, it comes back to it's a personal. We're missing so many comments. Physical, yes, I believe in physical. You guys, if I'm missing your comments, please just keep asking them because they're going by so fast.
Patty Moore just sent us a super chat. Thank you, Miss Patty.
Oh, thank you. Oh, you figured out how to do it. She asked me how to do it earlier.
That's awesome.
Thank you. As far as the 401ks and the IRAs and all that kind of stuff goes, you guys, I will tell you about that. If you're going to put them into precious metals, please make sure that you do not get scammed. I have noticed since I've started selling precious metals, we've been in this area for years. We've bought precious metals. But since I've actually started selling, which has been almost 2 years now, I have noticed an uptick in, I would say, the last 8 months of scams. What do you think about buying gold through something, Glint system, I think? I missed that. Is there a way you can see the comments?
Yes.
I am missing them.
Well, first I want to say, and please don't forget, Carlos said, don't forget to tithe. It's God's money anyway. Isn't that the truth? We're supposed to be good stewards of it.
Yes. Real quick while you're reading those. So the IRAs, you guys, there are some scams out there. I'm dealing with those right now where people in the vaults, you guys, if you decide to roll it over, which I think is a good concept, but you need to make sure whoever that you do the custodian with and the vault with, that they're legit. Otherwise, you're going to lose your precious metals and your retirement.
Do you want to keep talking about that, or do you
Nope.
go to the next question?
Go to-
Okay, this was a good one. What percent do you put in gold versus silver? Junk silver? Do y'all do any pre-33 coins as another percent? And that's a question like, pretty much how do you do it? And this is from Doc. Thank you for the question, Doc. What percent in gold versus silver? Mike Maloney does 500 to 1 or something crazy.
He's mainly in silver now.
Yeah, if you play the silver ratio, if you desire to look at the gold and silver ratio, and you can go back and you can look, and silver gets way behind gold. And then eventually it gets closer, it'll get, what is it? How much is it now?
It's like
80 to 1 or something?
Yep.
Well, through history, it's done that. It's gotten way out of whack, and then it catches up, and we're talking, 20 to 1, 30 to 1. Some people think it's going to be 1 to 1. I have a hard time believing that, but there's no telling what happens during a currency collapse. So that's one way to kind of walk through that yourself. Well, that's what I do. And the rest of the question,
Well, I've got another one there when you're ready. You can find one. So another one I had.
junk silver. Hang on, junk silver.
Okay.
We got to talk about junk silver anyway.
Yep. Let's talk about it. Even how to buy it.
I think it's cool. Junk silver's handy. It's useful. It's money. It's actually, you can go spend it right now. And it's very good for bartering. If you think we're going to enter a situation where it's easier to, use a coin in a 25-cent, piece instead of an ounce, you know what I'm saying? And really, as people get scared, they desire it more. What's the premiums on junk?
So here's an interesting thing. Yeah, I'll tell you what they are. But I've had people completely stop buying junk.
Really?
They're only buying rounds. When they're trying to go for something to barter with, they have completely stopped buying junk. Junk right now is $4 over. I'll do the math for you real quick. So right now my spot is $24.84 plus the $4 over. Just so you know, this is how you factor in junk silver. If you ever want to go sell it, buy it, this is how you do it. You take that ounce and you times it 0.715 because it's 90% silver and it's been circulated. So that means for 1 ounce, it's not 1 ounce. I take that back because I'm going to get corrected on the chat here. It's $1 face value. It's actually 90% less than that probably because it's been circulated. But $1 face value for junk silver is worth right now $20.62. So that means if you times that times 4, a quarter is worth $5.16. So if you put that in perspective. But I have had people completely stop buying junk silver in the last couple months and only buying rounds when they're talking about bartering.
What's the premiums on junk?
$4. But you gotta times it 0.7.5.
Right.
So
it's more substantial.
It is.
Yeah.
So silver Buffalo rounds and Morgan rounds are $2.50. So you're better off because if you do $4.
Wait a minute, you're better off unless you want to pay that extra to have the barterable silver. See, it's so many ways to look at it.
It is. It's a personal choice. So right now, if you bought a round, it's $2.50. If you buy, say, $1 face value, say 4 quarters, you're paying $2.86. There you go. I'll give you the math. We're very transparent when it comes to this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I get asked all the time also, Eagles versus rounds. We're on that.
Go ahead.
Is it more important to buy Eagles, which is a legal tender, or is it more important to buy rounds? And you guys, we have 137 people on here and 60 likes. You guys go like that, blip at that, because we work hard at this and we're trying to bring you guys value. But Eagles versus rounds, and I was talking to someone about this. Actually, I talk to someone about this pretty much daily. This is such a personal choice. I have some people that will only buy Eagles. It's a legal tender in the United States. Not supposedly, but by law, it cannot be confiscated. Can that go away? We don't know. But as of now, a silver eagle has a $1 face value. A gold eagle has a $50 face value. Now, you're not going to use it for that because it's worth a heck of a lot more. But so some people tend to buy those. At the same time, though, you can get cheaper for the round. So a lot of people ask me, what would you purchase, Eagles or rounds?
You guys know, I feel like it's a commodity. I feel like the future currencies of the world will be backed by commodities. Lithium, gold, silver, well, gold you could argue is not a commodity, but anyway, you know what I'm saying. So it's a tangible asset that I'm really after the silver. That's it. Just like if I was buying copper or something like that. Now, when you buy this silver, because it's a commodity, I usually just buy the one on sale, the one that's cheapest. Or sometimes we do some face,
Sometimes we
Eagles
will do.
every now and then, something like that.
Yep.
Just to kind of, even out your stack. But I don't know. It's really personal preference. It's just so. What do you think about the future? What about bars? That was a question as well.
Okay, bars, like silver bars.
Yeah, while we're talking about
let's talk about bars, gold and silver. Let's start with gold first. So I don't have any with me, unfortunately. They're at our location elsewhere, or I'd show it to you.
Thanks, Jen. We're having a hard time seeing
I know. It's going by so fast. That's when I told you guys. I'm like, just keep asking me, and we'll eventually get to it. Gold and silver bars. Let's start with the gold. The gold bars are not as recognizable, but they're still gold at the end of the day, you guys. They're still 99.9% gold. The premiums on those are going to be a little less than if you go to the coins. They look like a little mini credit card. And the premiums run about $70 over, where if you hit the coins, they run about $85 over. Now, I have some people that say absolutely not. I only want a sovereign coin from a government mint. And I'm like, hey, if that's what's more important to you, you pay the extra $15. At the end of the day, your spot is still the same. You're still getting that same amount of gold. And that's what it boils down to. It's really a personal preference. Silver, now, here's where silver's a little bit different when it comes to bars. When you go into bars, you tend to get a little cheaper premium. And we're running some specials right now. I think one of them right now is like a $149. It's a dealer's choice. $149 per premium per spot, per ounce. So when you do go up in bars on silver versus the rounds or the coins, we don't have 1 ounce bars. So you got 5 ounces, 10 ounces, and you tend to get a little...
Yeah, 1 ounce coins.
Yeah, coins, but when you go to the bars, you get 5 ounces,
Right.
10 ounces, so you get a little bit more cheaper
I have seen
premium.
a 1 ounce bar.
Have you on silver?
Yeah, it's just a coin. It's just a 1 ounce piece of silver in a bar shape.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
Huh.
But anyway,
But so it's kind of a personal preference. The only thing I've heard people say is they're scared it's a little harder to move if they had to barter
it is
with it or
100%. The bigger the bar, the harder it is to move.
Yep.
But what if you're a country? What if you're somebody with mega wealth? You're not going to want to put a bunch of 1 ounce coins somewhere. You're going to want to buy a big chunk of something. You're okay with having it a little hard to move. Especially when it comes to gold. Can you imagine moving
a lot of gold.
bar of gold?
All right.
It'd be hard
I
to
got
do.
another question, and you find me another one too.
Right.
All right. How to properly store silver? Man, do we get asked this a lot too. And you guys, just so you know, I'm going to go back and read your comments, and I'll try what I don't catch. I'll try to put in the comment section of the video and try to answer some of them. How to properly store gold and silver. Once again, it's a personal preference. Do you prefer a vault? Are you comfortable with that? I know the only thing I would say is there's been a few vault issues lately. If you do a vault.
Nobody's really lost anything.
Yes, they have.
Really?
Yes, they have. Now, the guy the other day, he did get his back, but the guy in Canada, it's gone. He's in court right now trying to get his.
Oh, man. See, I hate it. I mean, some people have to.
You have to.
If they want to do the
IRA.
do the IRA, self-directed, and do that, it's like they put that third party in there.
Yeah.
And there's just no way around it. I hate it, though. It takes a lot of the value away that gold actually has and silver.
Well, I will tell you this.
It's your money, and it's
It
between
is.
you and you, and nobody else.
If you're going to store silver, I would try to get the cylinder tubes. And I'm just talking about sort of preserve it so they don't get all rusty and stuff like that. There's plastic cylinder tubes. We sell them, or if you buy from us of a certain amount, you do get the tubes. It does keep it airtight and sealed. And there's these little suitcases you can buy, you guys, that are like fireproof. And it'll also keep them sealed. Where you put that, that's up to you. But if I were you, because if you just have them rolling around, they tend to get tarnished. Try not to touch them too much with your fingers, except on the sides. There's a few that I have and I'd touch.
Somebody
They've
just
gotten
put in the
tarnished.
comments, he heard, sorry I didn't get your name, he heard that people were taking their coins out of the plastic case in case of fire. So it didn't have plastic melted all over the coins. That's interesting.
That is interesting. I hadn't thought about that. All right, can you get through the comments again as I go to the next
Yes.
one? And then I'll go.
Do you think silver will drop before the first of the year? This is from Miss Terry. Terry Carlton Brown. I guess he could be a guy. How do you spell it? Anyway, Terry. No gender issues
That is
here.
pure speculation. And I was talking to someone about that today, about listening to several different people that I watch regarding stacking and precious metals. And I even said the other day when it was Thursday and silver took a run, I said, you better watch it. Friday, they're going to rip the rug out from underneath it. And sure enough, they did, but it didn't go down as far as I thought it would. So I really don't know. I'm watching to see. I watch an economic calendar. It's off of Bloomberg. You guys, somebody just said hello. Sent us, I think it's a super chat.
It's Miss Patty Morgan.
So they sent it.
Hi, Miss Patty. Thank you. Great job.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it means a lot.
Sure
they
does.
said, and sure enough, they didn't go down as far as I thought it was going to go down. But I have an economic calendar that I watch. I'll be happy to share it with you. It's off Bloomberg. It's free, but I watch to see what comes out every week. Because if Jerome Powell's speaking, you got the CPI coming out, we've got jobs reports coming out, different things like that, home prices coming out, and then I see kind of how does that affect pricing. And I think you and I both were like, when certain things happen, we're like, okay, let's see how this affects the market.
really, guys, trying to figure out which way silver's going to go,
It's impossible.
I'm like the last person to ask. It's like I'm always wrong, okay?
Let us purchase and it'll go down.
Yeah, what we do is we just dollar cost average in. I'm like the worst at timing. But if I had to guess, I would go look at the charts. I would figure out how to read charts because that helps tremendously. Look at the 20-day moving average, look at the weekly moving average, and it really makes sense. But I'm not a charts guy yet, so I don't want to put it on the screen and try to show you just yet. But it really makes a lot of sense, and it'll kind of help you if you're trying to buy the bottom. You can try that. We just dollar cost average. But if it goes, do I think it's going to go down? I really don't know. If I said I did know, I'd be lying. Who knows?
All right, the next question somebody's asked, and I want to cover this just real quick and keep looking for questions on here, please, because I am missing so many of them. I can see them flying by.
I got another one.
M and J, if we miss them, please tell us. How to pay. This is another question when it comes to Miles Franklin. As you guys know, we're with Miles Franklin, so this is us personally, not other companies. But I get asked this all the time. So how to pay with Miles Franklin. You can pay in 3 different ways. You can pay with a wire transfer, which if you do, I highly recommend when you go to your bank, do not tell them what you are doing the wire transfer for. I've had several clients that have done this, and they have denied to do the wire transfer. So when you go do the wire transfer, just tell them you're sending money to a friend. I don't know. Lie. Hate to say that, but lie about it. Second of all, you can do an ACH. That's the free version. Typically, it only has to be under $50,000. However, I can get special permission to go above 50 grand in certain circumstances. The third way, and this is where you sometimes get reported to the government, is if you do wire a money order or a cashier's check or a personal check even. That's considered cash, and if it's over a certain amount, sometimes that does get notified to the government. So my personal favorite is ACH if all possible, and that's just 3 ways that you can pay. Everything goes straight to Miles Franklin in Minnesota. I do not touch the funds, but that is how you buy precious metals. You can set up an account. Once you set up an account with us, you're set. You can order it anytime you want. All right.
Okay. The next one. Could Chris heat up and cut a 1 ounce round into tenths to show us how hot? That was from Jay Free. Possibly. I would probably use a bandsaw. I don't know if you'd have to melt it down and pour it into tenths. You could do it with gold. My mother does it all the time with gold. She's a jeweler. But silver's a little different. You certainly could, but I think there's a little more to it
than that.
But anyway, sorry, I'll keep going.
Nope,
that would
good.
be an interesting project. You got me thinking about it.
Okay, before you start the next question, you guys, we're going to do a silver giveaway because we got 2 to give away tonight. So we're going to do hashtag Eagle. Hashtag Eagle.
Silver Eagle.
Yes. Thanks to Mr. Eddie.
Mr. Eddie's awesome.
And
he gave back to the community. Isn't that cool?
He did.
So cool.
That's really awesome. So you guys do hashtag community. Why he's doing that, I want to discuss about how to sell back precious metals. This is another question I get asked, and until about the last 6 months, nobody was selling back precious metals, and I'm having this happen a lot.
Did you see that question?
Which one?
Is that her question? Kate just asked this question, so you're doing a good job.
Oh, no. I've already had a few that people have called in, so I kind of tried to print some of this off. So I've been asked how to sell back. And it's actually using you become your own bank. I have someone right now that bought at like $19 an ounce. Well, we're up at almost we're over $24.70 an ounce. So they're actually making money. Some of these people, I've had them do it to buy a property. They've had to buy equipment. They've had it because they had a medical emergency. So how you do it is you call me. I will give you spot and premium. Now here's the kicker. You don't get a lot of that premium back. For example, give you a perfect scenario. If you bought one of those gold bars, those Valcambi gold bars, and you paid $70, I hate to say it, but you're only going to get about $2 back. That's what stinks. However, gold has gone up. So if you bought it like $17.76, which is what it was not too long ago, you're at $2,000 right now and over. So you have to kind of look and see.
And that's really the downside to precious metals.
Is the
premiums. A lot
premiums.
of investments are like that, like real estate. It's kind of hard to move. It's like the slowest moving, actually.
Well, real estate, you have all those closing costs, you have all those upfront costs that you don't get
I
back.
mean, and you know, if the property goes up like it has been,
Right.
then you did pretty good on it. You know, if you bought a few years ago, real estate went up, you did good. That should be the case with precious metals. The problem with precious metals is the manipulation.
It is.
It's and you know, that's just part of it. It gives us time to get ready, and if you're trying to jump in gold and silver and then jump out, it's hard. That's a hard one to do. I would, if you're wanting to do that, you could also learn how to trade, because you can actually trade micro futures on precious metals.
Well, if you're wanting to sell back, that's how you do it. So I would give you spot right now. So right now, for example, spot would be, if you were going to sell back to me, it would be around $22.60 is what you would get back from me. And then, for example, if you were selling me a Buffalo, unfortunately, you might only get 10 or 20 cents on the premium. So that just kind of gives you an idea. I'll be happy to tell you if you want to call and get a quote. It's very easy. I send you an invoice. You ship it to my shipping department. They open it up under a video, and then they send you either a check or a wire, and you get the funds. So if you guys want to sell back, it's very simple. Can you pick one now? Because you got longer arms than me.
Okay, I'm giving away a silver eagle. I'm going to go all the way up.
Holy moly, that's a lot of eagles.
Go all the way up.
You guys, thanks for being on here
All the way
tonight, and keep
down.
asking us questions.
Okay, right here.
Pick one, baby.
The hobo towgrapher.
Oh my goodness! Hi!
Landed on you, buddy.
Congratulations. Hit that down.
Yeah, he's been with us for a long time, hanging out in the comments. Really appreciate it.
All right, you
but
guys.
yeah,
So that's the first
congratulations.
one. We're gonna
You got
give
another one
away.
to give
Oh
away?
yeah, we got 2 to give away
Awesome.
tonight. Let's get on to some more questions.
Okay.
And you guys keep hitting that like button for us, because we're gonna keep bringing information to you guys. There's a lot going on.
If you have metals and wish to sell them, how does that work?
I just went over
I
that.
know. That was the last one.
Okay.
CH says, I'm late. I heard from a doctor that they put restrictions on gold and silver regarding goods and services in the Patriot Act. Have you heard of this? I have not.
Restrictions
There's
on
no telling what's in
golden
there.
services. I have not heard of that, but I do know a lot of since the Patriot Act. I do know a lot of states have reversed a lot of stuff regarding precious metals, and they are saying, "Hey, you guys, stop the hashtag Eagle. We're going to do another one for the next one." So it's already been picked. We'll do another hashtag in just a second. I do know a lot of states. I think, is it 14 of them now? No, more than that. They have reversed a lot of the gold and silver laws, where that they are accepting them as quote-unquote currency, including paying your taxes. But I will tell you guys this. People are actually using it to barter with as we speak. So they're using it in private businesses, and how they're doing it is they are saying what is spot versus premium, and that's how they're using it to barter with. So, for example, if you were to go pay a bill right now and you had a piece of silver, you would say, okay, spot's $4.70, premium is $2.50, add that together, and that's what you would use to help pay your bill. So, thanks for letting me know. Can y'all give away boudin sausage? Yeah, we don't have any of that.
So I'm looking at the Patriot Act. I kind of Googled that real quick.
Okay.
And nothing jumped out. But there's no telling what they put in these bills.
That's true.
There's no telling the stuff that they put in these bills that happened forever ago that they haven't even, drug out of the cabinet yet. So, that's likely, I'd say. Okay.
All right.
Next.
So, got a couple more, and then we'll get another way silver, and I got one more kind of question I'm not really sure how to answer, but
Is
I'm
it
give it my
easier to
best.
test counterfeit? Coin for counterfeit than bar. So is it easier to test for counterfeit with coins or bars?
I personally don't know, because I've never tested it. I know his mom is a jeweler, and she can test.
We'll do a video
There's a
on
machine
testing
that you
silver.
can buy. Well, there's homemade remedies, but some of those coins still can be fooled by homemade remedies, I'm hearing. So
Oh, wow.
I tell people all the time, if you're going to buy from someone, then I recommend either going to a coin store or a jeweler or something like that that can test it. Where I get it from, we guarantee it. Just so you know, we guarantee. And matter of fact is, Mr. Charles, he can prove that, and so can, I forget the lady's name I just spoke to. We guarantee it, because she sent me photos questioning what it looked like. And Mr. Charles even went and bought a machine, and he actually looked to see if it was legit. Could you do not. Oh, just let me know if I'm missing comments or
Okay,
questions.
I got one.
So, but that's what I would recommend doing. So buy it from a legit dealer or go get it tested.
Do y'all do, Doc, he asked, do y'all do any pre-33 personally? That, I started doing pre-33s back when I kind of woke up. When I woke up, I was like, oh, wow, this is going to happen. You know, we don't know when. This is going to happen. And I don't remember what the premiums were, but they weren't like they are now. Silver was kind of out of favor. And I bought some then. But that's kind of, you know, it's in my opinion, something you can
Pre-1933s?
figure out a percentage you want to keep in your portfolio and do that. And if you don't,
I didn't know you bought some pre-1933s. Are you talking about junk silver?
I'm sorry, I'm talking about junk silver.
Okay, because I don't think we have any pre-1933s.
No, we don't
Those are
have
mainly
any,
golds.
They don't have any 33 gold. Sorry, my bad. I was thinking 65.
Yeah, I know. That's when I'd like.
slipping.
Nope. I knew exactly where
Sorry.
his head was
I
going.
have excuses. You want to hear them?
No. He's tired. He's worked all day, and I got him on a live stream with me.
It's okay. I'm happy
Pre-1963, pre-1933s. You guys.
No, I don't do that.
We
Never.
have not, and here's
Sorry.
why. I just think the premiums are too high. Now, if you got the money and you want to do it, and it is legit that it is on the books that it cannot be confiscated, and Lynette Zhang and those kind of they're like
Gung ho.
said you can pay any bill with silver in Kentucky. That's what they're saying in Kentucky, Tennessee,
cool.
different places
That's
like
first I've
that.
heard of that.
Yeah, they're saying that you can.
Well, here's the thing. Can I go on pre-33 a little bit?
Keep going.
All right, look. So gold, pre-33 collectibles, shipwreck coins, all that stuff that's supposed to mean something. That doesn't float my boat. I don't really buy into all that, mainly because the premiums are like out of whack. So if you take something that's worth this and you say, well, it's worth all of this extra because of some kind of special thing that happened. Is there a person that verifies that thing that happened? Is it, was this shipwreck in a certain spot, or was this, I don't know. It doesn't, that's out of my wheelhouse. I don't know how to gauge it, measure it, sell it. You have to get them inspected when you sell them. Isn't that right? Don't you have to have somebody
I would
check off on it?
Well, if there's a grading process, yes, and you have to verify it
So,
and all that kind of stuff. Yes,
And you can probably go back to the same dealer and sell them back to them. But I would like to know the percentage of that premium that you get back.
No.
That's what I'd like to know, because usually it is way lower than how they sold it to you.
Yeah.
Like crazy.
So pre-1933s, if you have the funds and you want them and you can find legit ones and that's up what you want, then I say go for it. We personally don't do it. I will tell you this, watch out for specialty coins, in my opinion. This is just my opinion, but these specialty coins that they give really high premiums, and then you're sitting there, and we've talked about the couple that called me, and they don't mind me saying it because they told me I could mention it, that went to a company with $400,000, and now they're only worth $180,000 because of the specialty coin premiums. So you just have to do your due diligence. I think precious metals is an awesome place to be, but you got to know what you're doing, just like in everything else.
Well, and even talking about silver, the last time I talked to somebody and they're trying to sell me, I call these people. They call me all the time. It's like, hey, don't you want to? You want to get into gold and silver? I was like, yeah, sure. What's your premiums? Oh, well, how much money do you have?
Yeah.
It's always the same thing. It's like, what? What does that have to do with the box of Eagles?
Yeah.
I mean, why do we have to have this conversation first? They try to figure out how much you're wanting to spend, and then they try to figure out how much of it they can keep for themselves. So just ask them a point blank question. How much is a monster box right now? And if they can't spit it out, that's been a red flag since I've been calling these faith-based precious metal companies and all these real, I'm not going to go into any names. But anyway, they're trying to sell me a silver eagle ray. And it's the best thing ever because it was a silver eagle and it was a ray. And it was $75 an ounce.
For silver.
Anyway, that's what you got to look out for the pre-33 and
Could Chris build some? Stacey, if you
365.
pay me, I'll take the Charles coins. Stacey, I'll pay. So I cannot sell those Charles coins to save my life. Chris, it's
What?
funny. King Charles, they just reduced it again to $269. It's on
I'll
my
take 'em.
special.
That's a good idea. If it gets cheaper, I might buy some.
Okay. All right. We're going to give another
Pour them
silver.
down into a dumbbell.
We're going to give another silver eagle away. And this time we're going to do #community. because I love this community. I think it's so amazing. I love talking to you guys. And so audio is good, and it came back. Sorry, did our audio come and go? If it did, I apologize.
Sorry.
So hashtag community, and we're going to give another one away. While we're doing
Thank
that.
you, Mr. Eddie, for all of you guys that
I
just got
know.
here. Mr. Eddie's a community member. And very often the community says, hey, you know, I want to give several ounces away back to the community. And that's what we're doing, just so you know. So it's really cool. Thank you, Mr. Eddie.
I appreciate it. It does. It means a lot. All right, you guys. So we've been asked, and this is a question I'm not really sure I can answer because I'm not an expert in when it comes to overseas purchasing precious metals. I do know I've had a few people call me from overseas asking U.S. current prices and comparing them with prices overseas. Sometimes they were cheaper, sometimes they were higher. But what I do know is they were asking why, when you look at the open market, why is sometimes overseas prices higher than they are in the United States? The only answer that I could come up with that I could say that was valid was that most of precious metals is traded in dollars. So when you look at when the dollar's strong, it makes precious metals overseas purchasing higher. That's the only really legitimate answer that I could come up with. I do know someone has gone to India recently.
You could think about it like this. Like the countries, the small countries, it's harder for them to buy precious metals because they're poor.
Right.
You know, these countries have been getting pretty much ripped off by the dollar for a long time, and times are hard there, and their leaders are really awful. They're mostly, you know, not for the people. They're to, you know, keep them down, and it's corrupt, and it's just hard for them to get precious metals. That's what I think. But you even look at the small countries; they're buying it.
Yep.
You can look at the big countries: China, Russia.
India.
I've done so many videos on that. How many tons they've added?
They're like one of the biggest holders, and ironically, United States is one of the smallest, which makes no sense at all. We should be holding.
We're supposed to have a stockpile.
Yeah.
Fort Knox is supposed to be full. It's about to bust open.
Has
there been an audit lately? Yeah. When was the last audit of Fort Knox?
It's your turn to pick again, long arms, because I can't reach all the way over there. Hashtag community. And we'll see if we got maybe one or two more questions, and then...
I'm going to go all the way up. All the way back down. Up, down, up, down. M-E.
M-E.
M-E. Me.
M-E, you have won. So, you guys, this is my number, 318-564-5823. Text me your info. I will get this in the mail probably Wednesday. Thank you guys so much. And if you want to see if we have one or two more questions, and then if not, we'll call it a night. And I will go back and read the chat and try to see if I can answer either more questions in the comments or maybe just do another video trying to answer questions. Because you guys are asking a lot of these questions, and I really want to do my best to get this information to you.
Well, MNJ just sent me another question. So, lean lawn care and snow plowing. What is the best cost-effective way to buy silver with a $1,000 budget or less? Hashtag community. So,
I would get the rounds, or I would get the Morgans, hands down. I would get silver and buffalo rounds or Morgans. What would you say? That's the cheapest bang for the buck.
I would try to find it locally. I would try to find the best price. I would go to the coin shop. I would call friends that you know that are into precious metals and see if they knew of anybody that was selling, and see if I could beat the price that we could give.
That's a good idea. And you guys,
That's what I would
do.
I'm just telling you what I would do. And usually, when I used to do that, sometimes I'd find it, but most of the time I would be coming back to Miles Franklin. So, but you never know. You might find a deal locally.
Yep.
So,
yeah, and if you
honestly
do,
what I'd do.
I've even told people, I've had people actually going into dealer stores, and they will call me as they're walking in, and they're like, hey, Stace, what is the price of a spot and a premium right now? And I'll tell you. And if you can beat it, I'll tell you all day long. My dad even did it one day with some eagles. He found them. I'm like, Dad, you better get them. I can't beat that. So absolutely I will.
Does the $600 IRS rule apply to precious metals?
So not if you buy it through ACH, from what I understand, or if you buy it through wire transfer. Now, if you buy it through Venmo, which we do not use, then yes, you're going to be yes, from what I understand. Anything Venmo, anything PayPal, $600, yes, I understand that it's going to be reported. So that's the reason why I'm trying to find ways to buy precious metals that you're not reported. So I tell people, try to do ACH. That's your best bet. Wire transfer, they're going to know when you purchase something. Granted, if it's a larger order, you have to do it sometimes. But you can divvy it up in several orders. And there's no minimum, just so you know, and there's no maximum. The only thing we do have a $15 flat rate shipping fee if it's under a certain amount. But it does include insurance. And so that is good.
Okay, Chaz, I understand that frictional is more expensive. I pick up some silver 1/10 coins today for $4.50 each. Was that a good deal?
For silver or gold?
That's going to have to be silver.
Was it $4.50 over? I'm assuming this is silver.
$4.50 each for a tenth.
A tenth an ounce. Let's just do some numbers real quick then. You can know if it's good or not. Numbers never lie. All right? So right now, so let's just take a buffalo. We'll just do that because that kind of will help. So I'm at $24.85, and we'll do $2.50 over. So right now, for an ounce, you're going to do $27.35. Divide that times 10. That would put you at $2.74. So it depends on what you purchased. Fractional is always higher with premium. It might be a good deal. It might not be. I'm not sure what it is. I don't know if it's an eagle.
What's the difference? What's the difference between an ounce, the price right now? 1 ounce to the door, and then
I just gave it to you. $2.74. I just gave it to you.
That's the difference between the two.
Yes. So if it's an ounce, you're at $27.35.
$2.73 for
1/10 of an ounce.
For only 1/10.
Yes.
Okay. But that times 10, right?
So you're asking me right now.
That's the ounce.
If you were to buy an ounce.
Got you.
And I divided by tenths. Now, if you go by a fractional ounce, typically silver doesn't come in a tenth of an ounce. So I'm curious to know what it is that she got. Typically, premiums on a tenth of an ounce are a lot higher.
You can get the Valcambi bar in.
It does, but it typically.
Grams.
Here, let me show you. Typically, it doesn't come in a tenth.
I've never seen a tenth of an ounce silver.
Yeah, so I'm curious to know what she got. I don't know. I'd be happy to run the numbers and tell you.
If you're getting gold for that, I'm in.
Yeah, that's good because usually a tenth of an ounce is about $32 over. So I don't know exactly. Maybe give me a little bit more specifics. All right, you guys. I think that's about it.
Can you purchase silver through credit card?
No, unfortunately, through Miles Franklin, you cannot. And to be honest, I would not if I were you. And here's why. They track it. There is a 4 code that tracks you, and every time you purchase it, it's reported. So I personally wouldn't. I know some people do because they like to get point back. They even like to do it where they get Bitcoin back. Some people, they call and they're saying, no, I don't want to order with you guys because I want to use my card to get Bitcoin back. But they track it.
What is ACH?
ACH is Automated Clearinghouse. It's where two banks talk to each other. It's basically like instead of you getting direct deposited, so you know how when you go to a job and you give them a void check, you write void on there, rip it off, and you give it to them. They take that routing number and account number off the bottom, and they direct deposit into your account. It's just reverse. So we can only pull out, well, I can't, but my billing department, I have a guy, Tyler, there, who's my go-to guy, and he can only pull out what is on that invoice. So that's what it is. And unless someone goes into your account, audits it, tracks it, goes in there being nosy, they're not going to know. And it doesn't even come up Miles Franklin. It comes up like North American something or whatever. Someone would have to be digging to know if you did an ACH.
Okay.
So
Next
thanks for helping me.
Yeah, do you want any more?
Yeah, because I can't see the comments as they go along.
Oh,
one more and then we'll call it
Free
a day.
said Money Metal sells 1/10 ounce bars.
Oh, they 1/10 ounce silver bars.
That's crazy.
Okay, we don't. I
It's
don't
like
think.
a little fishing weight.
Yeah, I'll have to look. Let's see real quick, because you guys know I like seeing that kind of stuff. I don't have any 1/10 ounce. Now I do have the Combi bars, but to me they're a little overpriced when it comes to the premium. But
yeah, that's just those premiums are a bummer.
Yeah.
Man.
All right.
That's about it, guys. It's probably all the time.
Yeah, we've been on here long enough. So you guys, thank you guys for being on here. So excited for the 2 winners.
Yep,
Thanks for getting on here with me and helping me.
And I'm going to make you a sign that you can actually see with the plasma table. I'm going to work on that here tomorrow if I can make time. All right, guys. Have an awesome day. We'll see you in the next one. Later.